Hi there, it's Cheryl, and I'm going to be showing you how I made this card. And I've been wanting to do one of these for quite some time with the lattice edge on it, but I've watched a lot of videos on how to do this, and I think all of them I watched they sent you to their blog, and you had to download a PDF, and it had these little dotted lines, and you had to try to either hold it on the card or fasten it temporarily, like with paper clips or something. And it just seemed like such a haphazard way of doing it. So I have another way of doing this, and I'm going to show that to you. That's the main focus of this card. So let me show you what I used. And for doing our lattice, we're going to need a pair of scissors, a piece of paper, and this is about an 1.5 wide scrap that I had cut off from somewhere, and I just fold it one corner down like this, and that gives us a 45-degree angle. And we're going to be using that, a pencil, a good eraser, and a ruler. And we need all those things to do our lattice. And then I have various adhesives around here. I've got my Dries clear, I've got my Tombow handy. I'll be using those in different instances. And I got this nice stamp set that happens to come with a die set to match. I got that on AliExpress. Let me try to get this out. So it's got the stamps for these little tag shapes, and then it's got a bunch of little nice sentiments that go inside of them, and then it has you can get the dies to match. Very inexpensive. I'll put that on my blog, where to find those. Let's see, where can I put those? And you put them aside. And then I'm also going to be using, I got these on Amazon. The rest of these I got other, those are other sets of leaves. I keep all my leaves on one little thing. But we're going to be using these. And let me keep those out. I'll put them with my stamps and other dies. And from Spellbinders, their Graceful Borders series. This is Graceful Damask. And let me get those out, and I'll show you those. And there's 3 pieces. You can do just this. You can do just this one. Oh, there's a little piece of paper in there. With the border piece here, and have another little bit there. Or you can put these two together and make a nice wide one. It's a nice little set. Oh, yeah, here we go. There's the one little smaller border. There's the 2 of them together. And then we'll be using this one on our card. Let me get that back on the magnet there. By the way, it doesn't come with the magnet. I try to put all my dies on magnets like that rather than the sticky tape. I don't like the sticky tape. And we're also going to be using this. Now, in my original card, I used some designer series paper that was from Stampin' Up. I think it was Merry Little Christmas, something like that. But anyway, it's now discontinued. So on this card, instead of using this, what we're going to do is we're going to use some old Olive Cardstock, and we're going to emboss it with this. It's the Tufted Dynamic Textures Impressions Embossing Folder. And it makes a nice, like a quilted pattern on it. And these these are a little bit different. As you can see, they're thicker than a normal embossing folder. Well, let me get it out so you can see it better. You can see it's thicker than a normal embossing folder. So they're used a little bit differently than just a regular embossing folder. So let me put those together. And then I made the leaves for my card for the background. I used the Heartfelt Creations Leafy Accents. I've got the stamp and the dies. And we're using this leaf here and this leaf. Let me get them closer. That one and that one. Alright, so we'll put those up here somewhere. So of course then I need some sponges. I have one for lemon lime twist. We'll be using that on the leaves. Old olive and fresh fig. So I have, this is a piece of Sahara sand. That's what those little things with the berry light dyes. Where did they get to? Oh, that's what we're going to be cutting these from. Let me put them together. And then I have a piece of the heavyweight Whisper White cardstock. That's what I'm going to be cutting my bit of lace out of, and also my leaves will be done with that. And I have another piece of the Whisper White thick, and this was cut to make a 5x7 card, but we're going to be trimming that down a little bit. So it's not really going to be 5x7, it's going to be 5 by about, I think it's about 6.5 inches we end up with. But this is for a 5x7 card, so it's 10x7 and then scored and folded at 5 inches. Now I got another little piece here for my banner, or for my little label on the front. Okay, I'm going to leave that out because we're going to do the leaves. And then I have just some little assorted flowers here to put on the front, and I got these from scrap-flowers.com, and they're really rather nice. It's that mulberry paper flowers. They do get squished a little bit. Well, I squished these a little bit because I had a bunch of stuff in here with them. But in shipping, they get squished a little bit, so you just fluff them out a little, and they're ready to go on your cards. So I've got a bunch of those there. And I already said we're going to be using the fresh fig, the lemon lime twist, and the old olive inks. And we're also going to be using Mossy Meadow, and we'll use that to stamp our sentiment on the front and on the inside. Did I put anything? I didn't put anything on the inside. Okay, I have another little thing here, just a blank thing, and I think I just stick that down with, no, I stuck that down good. Oh no, I just stuck this down with repositionable tape, because then when I'm ready to use the card, then I will stamp it with the sentiment of my choice. And I can just take that off, stamp it, and if I mess it up, I can just cut another piece, and I'm good to go. Alright, back to the card. We're going to stamp the leaves with Old Olive, and I'm going to need a big stamp block. Let's see if I can grab one, and I don't know if that one's going to be big enough or not. Let's see. Yeah, that'll fit on there, I think. Yeah, that'll fit. And let me get the other stamp out. Let's see. I'm going to get all the little leaf bits on the stamp block. I seem to have a lot of cat hairs floating around here. Can't imagine how that happened. I came in my craft room this morning and I had a ball of twine sitting out on my table. The big old ball of like the hemp twine, and it was unraveled all over the place. So I had to roll that before I could even start doing anything. I had to roll that up, and like the cat hair all over everything. I just can't imagine how that happened either. Okay, so we got our stamps. Put them aside. I'll clean those later, because I'm gonna have to do a break in here somewhere and do my die cutting. So I've got them stamped in the old olive. I'm getting my lemon lime. I'm gonna start with my lemon lime twist, my sponge dauber, and I'm just covering the leaves with lemon lime twist. Getting a base color down there. And it's nice to get outside the lines. I do that even if I'm coloring them like with markers or pencils, because that way if I don't get it quite die cut right, I don't have that stark white border all around it. And so far this is very easy, isn't it? We just smear paint some color on there. Let me get that. Get the old olive here. And let's see. Yep, that's my old olive dauber. And we'll just going to go around the edges with that old olive. And down the stem. A lot of this isn't even going to show on the card. These leaves just kind of peek out. So there, we just want a little color variation on the leaves. It just makes them look so much more natural than just a flat color. Yeah, I broke down and I bought myself a whole bunch of these sponge daubers, and they came in a nice little case. And now I don't have to clean sponge daubers in between projects, because I have designated sponge daubers for my colors. Okay, now we're going to keep the fresh fig handy, because that's going to happen after we die cut these. Okay, so let's see, what should we do next? Let's clean the table off and get my white card base in here, and I'll show you how I did that the lattice on the card. Okay, so we've got our piece of paper. Like I said, it's gonna make it's right now it's a 5x7 card. So we're going to take our pencil, and along the top we're going to just make little tick marks at 1/2 inch and 1 inch on the top, and we're going to do the same on the bottom. So 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and then all down the side of the card we're going to make just a little mark every 1/2 inch. Don't want to get too dark. These are going to have to be erased later on. half inch, half inch. My ruler's only 6 inches long. Okay, and there we go. There's our last half inch mark. And we're going to connect the ones from top to bottom. So we're just going to draw lightly. You just need it dark enough so you can see it. Okay. I don't know if you can even see this in the video. I just went real lightly. And there's our other one. So the one at the half inch mark and the one at the 1 inch mark. Oh, I need to bring in my Stampin' trimmer. Luckily, most of my things are with arm's reach, so I can just turn around. And we're going to use the stop on it. We're going to set our card in there with our marked edge to the stop. And then we're going to take this and line that up against the stop. And from the top to the bottom here, we're going to start the first line we draw. We'll use that first half inch mark, and we're going to draw a line to the 1 inch line. Then we're going to slide that down and draw a line just to the first line. And again, slide it down and draw to the outside line. Then the first line, then the outside line. You see where this is going? First line, and we're going to do that all the way down. Outside line, first line, outside line. Oh, I need to slide this up a little bit. This just makes it so easy. Outside line, and we have just one more here, just to the inside line. And we have another little spot that we marked. I'm just going to erase that immediately. We don't need that one. That's the one at the very bottom. So now, I don't know, can you see my lines? Alright, I'm going to cut on all of those lines. Okay, so I'm just going to take my scissors. I'm just going to very carefully cut on the lines. So that one went all the way out to the first one. And this one just goes to the, or all the way out to the second one. This one just goes to the first one. I'm going to finish cutting these. One thing I will say, you're better off to have a larger pair of scissors. Don't use a little fussy cutting pair, because you'll get a straighter line and nicer line hand cutting them like this if you cut long strokes with your scissors instead of little choppy ones. Okay, so remember that as you're cutting. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to finish cutting these, and we'll come back and fold the card. Okay, so I've got this all cut now, and let's just erase all those little pencil marks. We don't want to see those on our, well, actually most of them we wouldn't see anyway if they're on the little bit we're going to turn. But anyway, we're going to erase it all. Get that all erased. Okay, so let's open this up, and we're going to take our top little arrow looking thing here, and we're going to fold it down. Just like that. You're going to match up your fold line with the point. And we're going to just do that on all of these. And right on down the line here. Just fold them all down. Meeting our folds with the folds. I think this is so much easier than trying to do it the other way. Now this last one here, look at that. That's going to be hanging off the edge here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take our scissors, I'm going to fold it to the inside. And I'm going to just snip that off right along that fold line. Both ends here. And try to be as neat as possible here. If you like using a craft knife, you could use your craft knife instead. And so now we have this little V here. Now what are we going to do with that? Don't throw it away. I'm going to tuck all my V's in, just like this. This is where you get the braided look. Isn't this cool? Right on down the line here. Tuck all the V's in. Oh, I put ribbon in mine too. I forgot to mention that. I always seem to forget to mention something. We're going to take this last one here that we cut off. We're going to slide that underneath here, just like this, and we're going to line that up so that it's tucked under the same as all the others. I'm going to put a little bit of my Dries clear glue just on the top bit here. Just like we did on the other ones, or just like we did before, we'll tuck that under so it looks like the rest. And we want to try and get this lined up here with the top edge of the card. Okay, so there we go. We've got that top one glued in, so it closes like this. We're going to trim this off right along here. And then I'm going to trim along the bottom here just a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch, just so it looks normal. So while I was away, I'll do that when I'm off camera in a minute. While I was away, I did die cut my leaves, and I die cut my little, I don't know what these are called. They're just little filler things for our flowers. I die cut those. We're going to use the 3D Leafy Accents shaping mold, which I forgot to mention earlier. And I'm going to put my little leafy things face down in there. Okay. And I need a little spritzer. And give them a light spritz. Put the top on. And there's only one way you can put this top on. It's got little legs here on the edges. That's going to go through my die cutting machine. And I also cut a 2-inch wide strip. And I'm going to die cut my lace bit, if I can find the cutting dies again. Here we go. I'm going to put my lace die cut. I'm going to put that just so it's touching the top here. I'm going to cut off a little bit of this paper. It doesn't need to be this long. Let's see. I can easy cut off. You see I was measuring that against the card. I'm not going to need it that long, but that's okay. That big. So I'm going to put it just like that. I'm going to die cut that. And since I'm going over to see Mr. Big Shot, let's stamp our little label or tag for the front also. And I can, oh, here we go. Need a block for that. There's a nice size one. And I need a little tiny block for my sentiment. And that looks like probably a good one. Let's see what I put on there. Just want to say. So let me find that one. There it is. Just want to say. I'll put that on my block. And with my Mossy Meadow ink. These are still pretty stiff. Let's see. I can stamp that right here. Just want to say. Ooh, I got some ink on the edge there. I wonder if that's going to show. Let me just put this over top. Oh, nope, that'll be fine. I'll ink up my little border thing. Now this one gave me a little bit of problems the first time I used it, so we'll see how it stamps. I hope it stamps nicely. And there we go. 1, 2, 3. It's not too bad. That little bit there is going to be hidden underneath, so I've got that ready. I can die cut that. Grab the die. And put that together with that. And I'll go off and I'll do all of this stuff I have to do over by the Big Shot. This, by the way, when you run it through your machine, you run it through with your cutting plates. One cutting plate on the top, one cutting plate on the bottom, no platform. With a Cuttlebug, you use 2 B plates. And only 2 B plates. No cutting platform. Okay, so I'll be back again. Okay, so finally we're ready to put the card together. So let's start on the inside. I'm going to glue that down with my Tombow glue because Tombow is forgiving. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. That's a brand new one. I want to use up my old one. So it will give us a little bit of time if we need to reposition this. And we put it down. And here we go. That looks pretty good. And our piece of white, I'm going to use the repositionable tape that I have. Dries makes this. It's very handy. I use this a lot when I'm thinking out a new card. And that will go on the inside here too. And when I know what I want, I can stamp my sentiment on there. Okay, so let's go back out to the outside. We're going to glue it down. See how pretty that is? I just love this. I'm going to glue that down with my Tombow also. Being careful not to take out all that nice embossing we did. And center that, top and bottom, and this right hand side. I didn't want to do that yet. Oh no! I want to put this on first because we need to trim it. I'm just putting the Tombow down to the side here, just along the edge. Oh boy. And Tombow's so sticky. I'm going to line that up. Oh, there we go. Okay, you see, so I have these bits hanging off the edge here. And I'm going to trim those off. I'm going to use my junky scissors that I have out here. I just want to trim that even. That'll be easier from the back. Just the bottom piece. There's a little bit hanging over from the lace design here. I'm leaving that in. If you want to trim that off, you can trim it off, but I'm leaving it in. Okay, and now I'm going to center it. Center it top to bottom and on this right hand side. There we go. And let me get rid of all that Tombow glue. Yuck. That stuff dries sticky, you know. It gets all over everything if you're not careful. Okay, so there we go. We've got that on the card. I'll wait till the end to put that on. I think next I'll put my leaves on. And for that, I'm using the Dries clear. We have to put our ribbon on too. I didn't even talk about the ribbon. I'm just putting this on the stems because our leaves have lots and lots of dimension to them. And just like the embossing folder, I don't want to knock down all that nice dimension we have there. I'm going to put this right here down the bottom, that's the big leafy cluster, just so it doesn't go past the edge of the card. And I put this one up at the top. I'll put right up here in this corner, like that, leaving some room for my flowers. And then I will put our little, I don't even know what to call it, I guess filler stuff. I haven't done anything to these except die cut them. Just put a little bit of the glue on there and stick them in. Oop. This is where these little tiny tip things come in handy. I'm going to put this one with that coming out over here on the side. Oh, let me get that. Oh, gotta move it in just a little more. I don't want that going past the edge of the card. Okay. So far, so good. Let me get the ribbon. Let's see if I can get this open. Can't find the end of the plastic. Oh, well, there we go. That got it out. I always save that plastic so I can wrap my ribbon back up again. So I'm going to cut myself let's see. I'm going to cut a piece here that's about 3 inches longer than the card. You know what? I need my good scissors for this. Where did I put those? Oh, there they are. So one piece is going to be about 3 inches longer than the card. And then the other piece, I'm just going to make this, let's see. I'll make it about 6 inches long. And we're going to open the card up like this, and we're going to weave our ribbon down through. I'm going to start with this one and go in and over and in and over, and your last one should go underneath. Okay, so you see how that one is? That's the long piece. I'm going to push that all the way to the side here. Flip my card over. And not that glue, I want this glue. I'm going to put a little glue right there. And glue the ribbon down. You see, there's a piece hanging over the edge. Oop. Okay, glue, come on. Let's try that again. Put some glue there. And glue that piece right there. Okay. We'll go back to the front. And we want our piece of ribbon to go. We want it to start out underneath. So we're just going to tuck that underneath like so. And go back over here. Go put some glue. And glue that right there. And that's hanging over the edge too. Now I'm going to let that dry for a bit, and then we'll be right back. Okay, let's get this card finished up. I'm going to trim my ribbon off. Let me open my card up. Trim my ribbon off right straight across here, even with the edge, with a good sharp pair of scissors. Okay. And we'll tie the bow. Well, it's not really a bow, we're just going to make a knot. Just like that. And then we'll just trim the edges. Just at an angle. And let's see, we'll have that one go the other way. There we go. They're not very even. Let me trim this one down a little bit more. There. So we have just a nice little knot bow. And we can put our flowers on and our sentiment or our little tag here, and we'll be done. So let me put my good scissors away so I'm not tempted to use those, because we're going to use our not so wonderful scissors, or if you have wire cutters, we're going to trim the stems off of these flowers. Maybe. Well, I guess I gotta get my good scissors in here. I did not cut wire with them. See how that one cuts off. Ah, that one went really well. And this one. And we're going to leave this part of the stems on our rosebuds, because we're going to have them extending out. And these flowers all came from, I think I already said, scrap flowers. Okay, so now we can start gluing down our flowers. And I'll be using the Dries clear adhesive. If you get along really well with your glue gun, you could use your glue gun. My glue gun doesn't like me. always tries to burn me. And put this one here at the top. And we'll put this one, I'm going to put him right in the center here, down at the bottom. We'll add another big rose down here with this one. Lift those petals up a little bit. Tuck him in underneath there. And we have a little rose, open rose. To come up here with this guy up here at the top. And a little one for down at the bottom. Let's see, we'll put him right here. Oh, I have an extra little one. Should we use them? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to use them. Since I have the stem cut off already, I'll tuck him in under here. Oh, this is looking so pretty. Now we just need just a little bit more. And I'm just going to put glue on the stems here. You see? I'll lift the flower up and just stick them in underneath there. And do the same with this one. We have two nice little rosebuds sticking out there. And this last one we'll put up at the top. There we go. Not too sure how good that lily stuck down. Let me give that a little poke with my scissors. There we go. And our sentiment, or our tag, or our label, or whatever you want to call it. I'll just put some of the Dries clear glue on the back of that. You could pop this up if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to slide this underneath here. And I'm going to have that just to the edge of the card. And our card is finished. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button down below. If there are any Stampin' Up! Products that you saw me use today that you would like to purchase, that would be wonderful if you used me as your demonstrator. You can do that either through my Facebook page or my blog. And as always, I'll have all the materials that I use listed down below here. And y'all have a lot of fun crafting. And I think that's all I have to say. Except, take care, stay safe, and happy stampin'.